Hello, Grim Squirrel here. It's been a while since I've put a video out. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I did actually write a script up for a video explaining the last so many months and some books that I've read in that time, but I haven't really had a huge amount of time to get that recorded and put up. But okay, so I had to do a video. And I'm sure there are people out there who can fully identify with this feeling of reading a book and then just getting to a point where you're just like, what exactly is happening here? So at the moment, I'm reading a book on my Kindle called Cults, Coffee, and Close Encounters by Aaron Lamb. I don't really know anything about the book outside of, just having started reading it. Um, I don't know anything about the author, but it it's set in Australia. I think it was Melbourne. Let me have a look. Um, Clicking through. Oh my god, I read more than I thought. I think it might be Melbourne. Anyway, the point is, it's set in Australia, but like, there's some things that kind of confuse me because there's this woman that the main characters come across, and she has two deer fawns, and maybe I just don't really know much about other areas all over Australia, but I didn't think we had deer here. It's just a minor thing though, like, it's not of huge importance. Now, let me get to the story. So, the story is focusing on two different characters. There is Janice, who she works at a museum, and she has gone out to a coffee shop with her friend, and they're just, updating each other on life and all that stuff. The other one is a guy called Logan Fury, and he is on his way to a trip somewhere for a holiday, and he is at the airport when all this starts. So essentially, his flights all get cancelled, and everything's sort of come to a standstill, and everyone's just like, oh, this is a bit odd, like so many flights coming to a standstill and all that. And a thing pops up on the TVs that are dotted about um, the airport, and it's a report that an alien spaceship has landed in the outback of Australia. And then, like, everyone just goes a little bit crazy and, kind of runs about panicking, all that shit. As far as the part that follows Janice, she's at the coffee shop, and apparently this is around. They're talking about pandemics, and I'm not sure if this was written around 2020 or what the deal is, because it's kind of confusing. And this is one of the first things that started confusing me, is that there were some sort of sensors in the coffee shop that went off saying that they detected someone who had some sort of virus or something, and then shutters came down and they were locked in, and a phone call came from the government on a government phone to the coffee house and was just like, okay, now you guys have to be in lockdown in this coffee shop for this amount of time because someone's sick. But during that time, the alien spacecraft had landed and they found out, and they're just like, we have to, hunker down in this spot, it's already secured and stuff. And but like, I don't know if they really did or do that, so maybe it's sort of like a futuristic take on it where it's, say for example, it might have been written in 2020. I'm not really sure when it was published, but it might have been set after that, thinking that things may have gotten to that weird point. um but I don't know if they can really I don't know, I don't want to comment too much on it because it's a weird subject. I just thought it was a bit strange, but everyone going batshit crazy in this story is just like nothing has happened. As far as the book is concerned, they got reports on the TV that a spaceship had landed in the outback, and that's it. And oh, hang on, no, there was one other bit where the Prime Minister of Australia had come out to do a speech, urging people, not to panic. We're keeping an eye on the situation. And then they cut to images of the ship, and it did some weird scan thing, like lit up, and then that was it. Like, so far there's been no mention of aliens, there's been no mention of the ship is doing anything other than it landed. It's sitting there. And but all these people are just going into apocalypse mode. They're just like, oh, let's start looting and this and that. And the people from the airport are trying to get home, but they're all just walking en masse down the freeway. And the Berbers, as it calls them, it's like people living in the suburbs leading up to the city, are blocking off the exit ramps from the freeway to stop people from going into the suburbs, because they're just like, oh, you're crazy, you're going to loot and cause trouble and everything. But everyone's just going bat crap crazy, and there's some people in the city where Janice is, and they're all like looting and building their own like little mini societies within that. And I was just so confused because I'm just like, why? Nothing's happened. Like, no aliens have come out of the ship, nothing's really going on. Why is everyone acting like this? It was just a bit weird. So then there's also the fact that the book is described as, let me just, it's got the description here of being a dark comedy. And so far, I'm not really getting that. I mean, there might be one or two small things that happen throughout that's kind of like, oh, that's a little bit amusing, but it's not really funny or anything. So I'm just like waiting for this dark comedy to happen, and I'm waiting for like some explanation as to why it's, apocalyptic, dystopian, whatever. Like, why is any of this happening? Maybe I'm just looking way too much into this. It is just a random Kindle book, right? But I don't know. I mean, I've been enjoying it, well, strangely enough. It's actually pretty interesting. And I mean, Janice is a bit weird because she keeps having panic attacks, but nothing's really happening. It's like someone says, "Hi, how's it going?" And suddenly she's like, "I can't breathe," and then starts acting so batcrap crazy. And it's just like, what is your problem? So she's a bit weird, but at the same time, not too terrible. Um, the other characters are kind of interesting. But yeah, maybe it's just me, but I just don't understand where this is going. I'm going to keep reading it because, like I said, it's still kind of interesting, and I do want to know if eventually there is either some comedy or some mention, at least, of the aliens, because at the moment it's just like people have gone nuts for no reason whatsoever. Maybe that's what people consider to be comedy. I don't think that's necessarily funny. Not that you know, am against people thinking that's funny or anything, but I don't understand it. But I'm hoping they'll mention the aliens and what the hell's going on. Maybe that's the part that ends up being the funny part. Maybe there's some sort of twist or whatever, but I do look forward to reading the rest and finding out what's going on. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just like really confused. I'm like, I gotta talk to somebody about this. Or at least I've got to talk to myself about this and make other people listen to it and go just as crazy as me. So, basically, yeah, I'm reading this, I'm confused, but I'm enjoying it strangely. So, I think that's really all I can talk about so far. Um, Hopefully, I can get a video out every now and then. It's not going to be regular. I just don't really have the time, but if I can, I will put something out here and there. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos that I have been putting out. Um, and if you happen to have read this book, let me know what you thought. No spoilers, preferably, but at the same time, just did you think it was amusing? Did you have your ideas of what's going on? Did you think that what the people, the characters in the story were doing, did you think that was reasonable considering the circumstances? What are your thoughts on this story? Um, I hate to sound weird, but do the whole like and subscribe thing, and I will hopefully catch you later. Bye all.